everybody, welcome back to Hondo's Blockbuster. We are here with another review this week. There's not really a big release coming out this weekend. There usually really isn't one after of a Marvel movie. Usually they'll they'll stay away. Since there was a new one, I kind of wanted to go back to a movie that I saw earlier this year, a few weeks ago, if you're looking at the name of the video, which I think is the best movie of the year so far, and that is Warfare, directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. It's a movie that, if you haven't seen it, not going to be spoiling too much about it. Just want to kind of talk about it, but it's a movie that the entire time, was just on the edge of my seat and anxious. So we'll talk about it. A lot of people are talking about Sinners being the best of the year so far. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm trying to get to that this weekend. But I wanted to shine some light to Warfare because I kind of feel like it's not swept under the radar, but not as many people are talking about it. And I know it came out a few weeks ago, but it's still out there. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend seeing it sometime this weekend. So let's talk about it. So Warfare. Warfare, like I mentioned, is directed by Alex Garland and co-directed by Ray Mendoza, who this movie is based around. So if you don't know who Ray Mendoza is a veteran, an Iraq War veteran, who is not only the co-director, the co-writer of this movie. And the movie really takes place, it's following his team on not really like a mission, but it's essentially a day in the life, and it's only told through the memories of his fellow teammates and brothers in the army or his unit, I guess. But it's told so uniquely because it's not, the story isn't what you're going for, right? There's not a full compelling, war epic or something like that. It's truly just trying to give you the experience of what it would feel like if you were just dropped into a random day during the Iraq War. And I thought that was so unique because, again, when you go to some of these war movies, you're expecting some grand story, and usually it's a little bit more Hollywoodized. This is the most realistic depiction that I've ever seen. It truly felt like if you didn't tell somebody that this movie had a director and actors, they might actually think this was a documentary. Like that's how it feels. Like it's so realistic to what I could imagine that would have been like. So I thought that angle was really cool, and the fact that it's pretty much told in real time, which I thought adds to that anxious feeling and if they go, the tanks are arriving in 5 minutes, like it feels like you are going to probably wait 5 minutes. Like that's how it's told. And I just thought that was so unique because obviously, you see movies like 1917, which is like that one shot, but even then it kind of goes through different peaks and stuff. Like this is just 1.5 hours just following this, you're on this one mission, and that's it. It's not glorifying anything. It's just this is what warfare is like. So the name fits it perfectly. So a couple other things to highlight. Firstly, the performances all around, really good. There's a few, if you're in the film space and you love movies, you'll probably recognize a few of them, like Will Poulter, Joseph Quinn, Michael Gandolfini, things like that. But everyone across the board does a great job. And at the end, and this is not necessarily a spoiler or anything, but at the end, it shows obviously Ray Mendoza, who's part of this team, and some of the other members of the unit were there on set multiple days. So a lot of these guys got to meet them and really understand who the character was. So I'm sure that helped a lot. But overall, I mean, everybody across the board was really good. But the one thing that really stood out to me, and it's something that I guess not really, like it's something you really talk about when it comes to movies like this, or just movies in general, is the sound and the sound editing and sound mixing. The sound in this movie is almost like its own character. I was able to go see this at Dolby at Sunset Place. Shout out to Sunset Place, but they've got a Dolby screening theater there that that surround sound of when the IED explodes when they're going. I actually jumped out of my seat. Like it was crazy. Like how loud it is, and it adds to that flavor of like holy cow, like it just adds to the horror and really the devastation of it, and then everything else from the gunshots and the close counter, like you're hearing the bullets going through the wall, like you're hearing everything crystal clear. I don't know if it was just Dolby, but from what I heard around, like it was definitely like people who aren't even big movie people. Like some of the things that they call out is like the sound. And it's like that's not something you usually hear from people. So that was a huge standout also. So yeah, so overall, this movie is, in my opinion, a must-watch. If you haven't seen it yet, I didn't go into too much of the plot or really some of the elements that happen, just because if you're watching this and you haven't seen it, I really urge you to go see it. It's that good, and in my opinion, it's the best movie of the year. So I don't really have any negatives. Like I truly don't. I walked out of that movie. If you're looking for big action and big epic war movie, this is not that movie. But for what this movie is and what it was trying to portray, it knocked it out of the park for me. I think that it really adds an extra layer of appreciation for what these guys do and what they have gone through. And it's not like a movie that like you're there like, oh, it's like glorifying war. Like, no, you leave this movie like terrified of war. Like that's what it is. Like you're walking out, you're like, oh my god, like that's just a random day. They are not in a big mission. That's just a day in the life, and something happened to Ray Mendoza and his unit. Like that's just something that could happen on any day over there. And the way that they brought it to life, I thought was nothing short of amazing. So, my opinion, best movie of the year, an easy 5-star rating. So if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Go see it this weekend. I'm gonna go try to catch Sinners this weekend, so I can try to have one of these reviews, because I don't think there's really another one coming out next week. And then we got Mission Impossible, so very much looking forward to that. But again, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, please subscribe and go watch Warfare. Please do it. Thank you all.